Bring me the microphone. Let's get right into it. The media. James O'Keefe. You're about to hear James O'Keefe recently did an interview. He doesn't like to do a lot of them, but he's realizing now he has to do more and more because people need to hear his side of it in a more long form. But this is just a little clip of James O'Keefe talking about the mainstream media. And then I got a little clip of Joe Rogan talking about the mainstream media. And then I'm going to make my points off of those two videos, because what's going on with the mainstream media, especially in the past year, 2 years, 3 years, it's getting absolutely ridiculous. I've called it a malfunction. I've called it the death throes. They're like taking their final blows at whoever tries to oppose them. They're slowly extinguishing, and we're starting to see it with CNN's plummeting ratings, Fox's plummeting ratings, and it's just going to happen very, very slowly. And I think we're going to see a lot of those journalists try to become independent in the next few years. But let's just get into the store real quick. You guys know about the Great Reset. Well, this is the Great Resist. It's my newest design. I'm very proud of it. And if you put a code in, a code that goes by I am Coach Colin, just like that, but all one word, you will get 10% off of this masterpiece. Now, let's say that you're like me. You like to wear horribly hot hoodies all throughout the year. Well, we got you covered. You can get a hoodie. You're going to see me wearing this pretty soon. I can't wait till I get mine. We got a hoodie right here for you, all right? So I'm just letting you guys know what's going on. Again, that code is IamCoachColin.com, or that's the website, and the code, I am Coach Colin, all one word. Thank you so much to anyone who's purchased. Let's get into the video. Bang, that is not it. There it is. Intro it for me, Russell.
The media, our friends, our allies, telling us the truth and definitely not amping up some stories and ignoring others in order to shape our reality to benefit them and their corporate partners.
Of course not. That's not what the media does. Thank you very much, Russell. Now let's get into the James O'Keefe clip. Here we go.
You decided after Rutgers that you were just going to go in your own path, and you avoided that whole establishment track. Why did you take the route that you took?
I guess there's always like this tension in us between wanting to be liked by the powers that be, like the Pulitzer Prize committee, or writing for getting your op-ed submitted to the New York Times. That exists in all of us, right? Probably exists in you, exists in me to a certain degree. It's not zero. I've submitted stuff to the Wall Street Journal. They never ran it. And it disappoints you when they don't, right? To the extent that you don't care about that anymore is the moment you become truly free. So the question is, why do we care so much about what CNN says about us, what the New York Times says about us? Why don't the Wall Street Journal run my piece? Why wasn't I renewed at Rutgers for my campus daily? Why do I need that? Why do I want that? That's the inner work that we have to do. But the more important question is, what is it about us that makes us want to be liked and admired by these institutions that are so ostensibly bad and perhaps evil? Why do we care so much? And most of us do.
What would you advise a young person who wants to, follow in your footsteps, or what would you advise a young person today?
I would advise them on the Nike slogan, just do it. I would advise them, you can learn more on the job in a few weeks or a few months than you can learn in all the years of school. And even books, you have to live it. You have to go do it. The best way to do that is in college. It's low risk. If you go to a public school, you can do investigative work. But you got to find your true calling. Not everyone's meant to do what I do, obviously. Some people should run for office. And we need good people to run for office. But we need truth tellers. We need brave people. We need brave people that have a conscience and have integrity and will do the right thing. We need good people to do the right thing and to take a stance. And increasingly in the face of overwhelming voices that are telling them that they're the problem. So listen to trust yourself, go out in the field, whether it's a camera or a pencil, probably a camera, go out in the field and just give it a try. And trust your own instincts is probably my biggest advice for the young person out there who's being inundated with voices telling them not to do this.
Man, I love that James O'Keefe said that. And what I want to go back to is what he was talking about when it came to the institutions and wanting to be liked. And the way that I would liken that to you and I is, although I am a creator as well, but I've never had a like for that whatsoever. Actually, you know what? That's a lie, and I'll get into that in a second. But why do we care about what they even have to say? You know, that's a big question. Why do so many people even get pulled into what they have to say? You know, I played a clip from someone named Josh Barton or Barnett, Barnett, I believe, recently in another video. And he was talking about how the mainstream media for some people is the way that they think. Like, it's the way that it's their mechanism that helps them make sense of the world. You know, and then I go back to something that James O'Keefe just said. He said, with creators, once you stop caring about that, it gives you freedom. Once you stop caring about what they think, it gives you freedom. And I would say that's not just good advice for a creator, that's good advice for the viewer. Once you let go of what they have to say and you learn to make sense through your own researching, watching something like this, but then watching someone else with another opinion and another and another and another, and reading between the lines and making the connections, and then reading something that has to do with this, like, you know, that's the way that you're really going to figure out what's going on in the world. You're not going to just get it from one person and that's it. You have to go around, you know, and again, like, once you release the need to go to the mainstream media all the time, it gives you freedom. It frees you up. And for a lot of people, it will de-stress you. You'll all of a sudden have less stress in your life if you go about things like that. Like, if you let go of what MSNBC and all these outlets are saying, because all they're doing is perpetuating the doom and gloom. You know, I talk about it all the time. You know, Jordan Peterson said it all the time, which is why he made ARC, is that, you know, they keep serving up. The planet is burning. It's dying. We don't have any time. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. You have to do something now. We want you to panic. We need you to panic. We need you to give us consent so we can take the power and make things better. We need it. We need you to do it now. It's like you turn that off and push that away, and all of a sudden you're going to feel way better. Way better. You start looking into things yourself. Yeah, it's a hassle. It's a hassle. When you want to know about a topic and you have to read about it for an hour, it's a hassle. But it'll leave you informed, and it'll bring you a real sense of peace. When you get informed yourself and you understand the facts yourself, so it's a lot of peace that comes over you. I've learned that in the past little while of doing this. Now, when I said I was lying, the only reason I got this camera is because I was inspired by Vice, and I wanted to be a part of Vice oh so badly. Thank God I didn't do that. Vice changed. This was back when Vice was doing some amazing stuff, but they changed. But that was, they were the first thing I really wanted to get recognized by them. And I'm so glad life took me off of that path and pushed me into all sorts of other things. Things that I thought were hardships, but actually ended up benefiting me in the end. Let's go on to a Joe Rogan clip before we end it, just about the mainstream media, because why not?
Like, why would they even refer to it like this?
Here's the crazy thing. That might have worked on some people at the moment, where people are like, oh my God, these idiots are taking horse paste. But now, given the amount of time that's gone on, what it's done, really, is it's eroded significantly people's respect and people's trust in mainstream news,
which I think is good.
This is fucking very good, because we got to find out what CNN really is.
Yeah, well,
it's a propaganda arm of the Democratic Party.
But if you think about it, like, this is the consequence of all of this stuff, and this one with COVID is the biggest one by far. But even when people I remember, like, when Donald Trump was running for president in 2016. And the people in the corporate press, who I know some of them, and they'd be saying these things like, they'd be like, he's just calling us fake news and liars and all of this. And like, how is this resonating with so many people? And they were like completely like, and you're like, guys, I don't know. I mean, you sold a war where 1 million people died off this guy had weapons of mass destruction, and he didn't. Like, real people's kids went and fought in that war and then came back and blew their brains out. This happened. Tens of thousands of American soldiers blew their brains out. You know, like, a lot of people knew that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And they know that you sold this war. Do you think that in the next 10 years after that, the fact that people have no trust in you, there might be a connection there? You know, do you think the fact that even like Barack Obama, you know, saying, you know, whatever, if you like your plan, you can keep your plan, or just all these lies.
Yeah.
Like, people remember this stuff. But man, if they think that the people in 2016 didn't trust the corporate press, after this, the amount of people who will never look at CNN again, will never look at the New York Times again, and as if there's any pretense of even you're pretending to tell the truth. It's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
And or at least it's for huge numbers of people. They'll never trust you again. You can never talk to them again.
Well, I think what CNN's trying to do